Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? So, we're going to be talking about getting medals a little faster. And generally, I think a lot of people out there, you're always trying to, when you start and play this game, and a lot of you free to play players out there, you're probably wanting to get your heroes up to par, up to gold as quick as you possibly can, right? Now, one of the things that, recently kind of came out a few months ago was the familiar update. Now, one of the things that the familiar update kind of does, and as well as other updates, is that essentially, as you progress in your castle level over time, eventually you're going to get something called military command. And I don't think it's widely known, but it should be, okay? If you're trying to get your actual heroes up to par as quick as you possibly can, you need to increase the stamina limit, the STA limit, as it's called. And that is ultimately something you can increase in the military command branch. It's one of the only particular perks of that particular research branch that, frankly, I am super happy I got early on. As soon as it was available, I got it, and frankly, I wouldn't look back. Like, if you're trying to get your heroes up to par as quick as you possibly can, you got to get that STA limit as quick as you possibly can. And, coinkydingly, obviously you can get your heroes, aka this guy, all right? And there's at least 20 to 55 STA that you can get every single goddamn day, dude. And it gets higher the more you increase that tier. Now, obviously, if you're trying to get your heroes power leveled up to level 50, 60, whatever, I've got a video for that in the description below. But when it comes to actually getting these particular kinds of heroes, you've just got to make sure that your familiars are up to par as well. And obviously that means you don't want to neglect this as much as most people probably do right nowadays. But if you really do spend the time, it is very rewarding. I will assure you of that. It will very well pay out. Now, obviously, when it comes to SDA limits, the old traditional way of getting it is Bravehearts. All right. Now, obviously, anybody to everybody will tell you that Bravehearts are easily found in Guildfest. If you're in a guild that you're fairly active in, well, the reason why everybody wants you to get a higher point score is because you are going to get access to more tiers in Guildfest, and more than likely, you're going to get Bravehearts this way, okay? Because a lot of the time, the higher the tier, the more rewards, and therefore you can get more Bravehearts. All right, now, obviously, if you guys out there are spending in the game, obviously, some of you guys out there probably heard of Amazon coins. And if you're trying to save some money, there's a way to do it, at least that route. But I personally, when it comes to getting Bravehearts, the traditional, old-fashioned, quick, as fast as possible way is always through dinero, okay? Like, if you have money, then obviously you're king of the king. You're always going to stay on top. And frankly, when it comes to packs, all right, you will often find the Heroic Adventure Pack being one of the best deals you can get for $5. Usually when it comes up, because you're getting 6 Bravehearts out of it. But honestly, I've seen, and I'm saying this is coming from my experience, all right, when you refresh the cargo ship, sometimes you will get special $5 packs that will give you like 15 Bravehearts for $5. And I've even seen for $1 packs, I've seen getting 6 Bravehearts, all right? So just keep that in mind, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean it's like, oh yeah, that's the best for your money. No, you'll often find, some trips in the cargo ship where you'll actually find some pretty decent deals. And obviously, if you're spending $20 on some of these packs, yeah, obviously there's some incentive. From time to time you'll actually see that, like in the monster hunting packs in particular, okay, they will sometimes throw Bravehearts in along there with you, or even $20 packs of hero packs. You will find that a lot of the time as well. And obviously, if you guys are really, really aiming for, a higher quality, heroes, everything else and above, obviously you're gonna have to compete, and so ultimately, if that's the route you want to take, then that's up to you. All right. But I'm just saying, from a free to play, even like just non-spender's perspective, okay, the two places you're definitely going to find that to be insanely helpful is going to be in those departments. All right. But when it comes to actually getting Bravehearts en masse, okay, and you're a free to play player, then the other option you have is you're going to need to get your gem trove up to par as quick as possible. And the higher your gem count is per day, per month in the Coliseum, all right, and vice versa, right? The more gems you have, you can always go down this route, which is to essentially gem Bravehearts. Now, honestly, for the amount of money that you would probably invest into getting these, it's probably cheaper But simultaneously, I've seen just as many people go out of their way and just gem Bravehearts, like, ridiculously all the time. And remember, it is 2,000 gems a pop to do this, okay? But if your goal, all right, is to get these heroes up to gold as possible, as quick as possible, then it's really not, like, terribly out of the question, really. Obviously, if you wanted to go the guild coins route, for those of you out there, one of the few things that you can do, at least through the guild coins route, is you're obviously going to get access to speed ups and stuff of that nature. And so if you want, you could just as easily take your speed ups and stuff like that. And then what you could do is occasionally, whenever a hell event pops around, or anytime another event comes around in particular, a lot of the time you can get lucky a lot of the time, and you might find yourself in a situation where you can get more merging speeds and stuff of that nature through the merge pack events. And then what you can do is you can take that and invest it so that you can go over here, get into your spires and stuff like that, so that you can get more to increase Aquarius and get your STA limit higher. Like, ultimately, if that's the route you want to go, then that's up to you entirely. But, the big thing I've always told you guys is that saving speed ups in this game is king. All right, if you can manage to save your speed ups on a regular basis, so that all you have to do now is, there's a hell of it. It's 630,000. Realistically, 630,000 research point. All right, then you just have to say to yourself, well, here, there's this one research that will take me 20 days, and another research that will take another 20 days, and that's 630k. So 40 days worth of time. Then all you need to do is figure out what your research gear is. Try to figure out what kind of reductions you can get, because again, there are boosts. There are even kingdom-wide boosts and titles that you can get to get that reduction as low as you possibly can get it, right? And essentially what you can do then is you can then basically maximize, what you can get for your buck out of the hell events and stuff of that nature. And that will pan out for you, especially if you do that during Guildfest, because there are Guildfest quests that are dedicated just to hell events. All right. Now, I've seen a lot of my buddies that will do that, and they easily come up with 2,000 plus points, because all they are doing is sitting there, and they've got, for example, they want you to do 8 hell events in a row in a single day. Easier said than done, because he's already saved all the speed ups, and he's got all the boosts and everything that he needs, and all the gems that he should ever possibly need, that it's super easy to go through and do that. But again, those same players have not a few months of speeds. I'm talking like maybe a couple years worth. Okay, and it's because they've been doing this for a long, long time. Now, I'm just saying that, if you're somebody that is playing free-to-play and you don't think that's realistic to you, like, they clearly spent money, that's not possible. Well, look, I'm just saying that if you're able to save even a week's worth of speeds and you put this into hell events, you can get energy this way, all right? And ultimately, all the gems and everything else like that you get out of this is just pure profit, So if you're trying to get your gear sets up, you're going to get some gear out of this eventually. And you're even getting some speeds and even some other knick-knack things that you probably don't think are that important. But that will add up, because eventually what you can do then is, if let's say you saved a bunch of energy, you can actually take all that energy that you've been saving and put it towards an event. And one of the events that I'm telling you about right now is a 3-hour event that comes up. And ultimately what you can do then, all right, is you put all the energy and you focus it onto those events. You don't ever spend this energy on anything else, okay? And ultimately what you're going to find out, at least from my experience anyway, is that you're going to get a ton of holy stars, a ton of gems, and a ton of speeds. And so for those of you out there that are really skeptical of just having a few years worth of speeds, believe me, if you do that, I guarantee you'll be quite surprised what you'll end up with at the end of the day. Like, it really does pay out a considerable amount. Now, obviously, if you guys are actually struggling, all right, to actually get your heroes up to par and you want to get them there faster, obviously you probably want to think about heroes like Trickster, who are kind of your research boost heroes, your army boosts. Or, obviously everybody out there goes for your army boosts initially because they think, well, military is good, right? But think about your academic skills first, because ultimately your administration skills are pretty much what ultimately will make your life a hell of a lot easier and a hell of a lot cheaper and a hell of a lot faster, okay? Because really what you can do then is, let's say you go into the monster hunting and you do this on a regular basis. The thing about monster hunting that most people don't really pay too much attention to is you're getting some gems, you get some speed ups, and that pays out fairly well. But one of the few things you can also get occasionally is holy stars. All right, now, a lot of you out there are probably a little skeptical of that, but to give you some idea, here's your proof. Okay, there's 1,000 holy stars I got out of a terraform. Okay, and I'll suppose I did that every day. If I was to get 1,000 every day, eventually I'd have a considerable high amount of holy stars, wouldn't I? And then what you can do then, all right, is if you're a pay to win, you can always go into elite. You're got 11 times, and then you open yourself to the doorway of getting like 11 times brave hearts. You open the doorway to 11 times 20k energy, 11 times 60 mil. You're talking a lot of rares and a lot of things, and then all of a sudden it starts to click in your head that maybe this is how they're actually doing it, right? But even on a normal labyrinth, I mean, you're talking about winning the labyrinth. If you play this strategically, you could potentially win the labyrinth. And then you're really going to be thanking me, because frankly, this is how you can kind of get it to a point where, hey, I can do this, and that's really, honestly, hey, if you want my advice, that's where I went, that's how I did things, and it makes life a lot easier, if you ask me. But needless to say, just make sure that you have a long-term plan, and that you're ultimately maxing these heroes with a purpose, all right? So if you're not really sure what hero to max and why, just understand that when you are trying to increase the STA limit to these heroes, ultimately an order of importance, Trickster always comes first, and then you can kind of dibble into different things at that point. You can kind of make your decisions from there. And really, there's nothing wrong with getting Bomb and Goblin and Rose Knight up to gold as soon as possible, and then work your way down. And really, there's nobody that's going to tell you otherwise, all right? But it's just, a lot of the time, at least when it comes to getting the STA limit, that's what I know that works. And needless to say, check out these videos, and I'll see you guys next time.